An assassination attempt has been carried out on Trump during a banquet he organized himself. Information coming out of the United States overnight indicate that there was an attempt targeting the president, Donald Trump. Peace and health be upon us. Dear Adinkradjo family, how was your week? This is our Sunday gathering where we spend time together. How did your week go? In today's section, we bring you detailed information about the assassination attempt carried out on Trump. In addition, we will present key and important weekly updates, including Iran's involvement in the so-called Black Wednesday Commando and Israel's shocking action in Somalia. Stay with us. Trump has been shot at. The American president, Donald Trump, who is frequently followed by threat of death, was hosting guests at a banquet inside the White House when a shooting attack occurred. The attack took place during the 26th White House Correspondent Dinner, an event organized in honor of press freedom. For a moment, an unforgettable scene of panic and chaos was witnessed inside the event hall. On Saturday night, while the event was ongoing, the sound of gunfire heard inside the building caused journalists, celebrities, and high-ranking government officials to scatter in search of safety. The atmosphere of celebration at the Washington Hilton Hotel turned into extreme panic within seconds. According to security officials, between 7 and 8 gunshots were heard. Immediately after the shot, security forces took rapid action and escorted the president, Donald Trump, off the stage and out of the hall. Secret Service agents secured the area, and for several minutes the banquet hall remained in a state of fear and tension. Some journalists were seen hiding under the tables, trying to save their life after the attack. The suspect was reported to have been taken into custody, and Trump reportedly commented, "Let's continue our dinner." Following this, both security personnel and attendees were divided in opinion. The dinner did not even end after the attack. The president of the White House Correspondent Association, Injin Daniels, announced that the program would continue once the security concerns were addressed. This decision sparked intense debate among the public. Some criticized it as reckless to continue the event under potential danger, whilst others praised it as a sign of resilience. Reports indicate that after recovering from the shock, President Donald Trump expressed interest in returning to the stage once the attacker had been apprehended. Although the identity and motive of the shooter are still under investigation, the incident has highlighted the vulnerability of presidential security. The whole world is currently discussing this issue. Donald Trump is not new to assassination attempts. Perhaps there has been no other president in his country's history who has faced as many threats. The gunfire heard during this dinner is not first such incident for him, and likely not the last. A recent memory is the assassination attempt in Butler, Pennsylvania, during an election campaign. The gunman, positioned on a nearby rooftop, opened fire and injured Trump on his right ear. Covered in blood, Trump was surrounded by security service agents and raised his first shooting fight, an image that became historic in the American history. During the attack, one attendee was killed and others were seriously injured. Another incident occurred at Trump Golf Club in the West Palm Beach, Florida, a few months after the Butler shooting. While Trump was playing golf, security personnel spotted the barrel of a gun protruding from the bushes and opened fire. The suspect was later arrested. This incident led to significant strengthening of presidential security measures. Earlier, during the initial campaign period in Las Vegas, a young man attempted to seize a gun from a police officer with the intention of shooting Donald Trump. In 2016, in Reno, during a rally, someone shooted a gun, causing panic even though no weapon was found, and Trump was rushed off the stage. During his first term, several individuals were also arrested for attempting to breach the White House fence. These incidents, along with the shocking event at the White House Correspondent Dinner, demonstrate how dangerous and unstable the security situation surrounding the president can be. So when we look at this threat, From another perspective, it is also a gain for Donald Trump. The narrative that he is an unbreakable president has become stronger among his supporters and has made the man more admired for his resilience. On the other hand, however, the incident showed that political attacks in the United States are becoming more common and indicate the heavy sacrifices required to protect national leaders at this time. The Gambler commando, saying Maduro would be captured, staked $33,000, and today he made over $400,000, and the American commando is expected to face heavy imprisonment. A member of the United States Special Forces, Ganukin Vadyk, has been taken into custody after winning more than $400,000 on a betting prediction platform called Polymarket, related to secret operations to capture former Venezuela President Nicolas Maduro. The 38-year-old Van Dyke is accused of using confidential military information before the operations was carried out and placing bets more than 13 times on the matter. According to charges filed in a New York federal court, the individual could face up to 10 years in prison for wire fraud and illegal financial transactions. According to U.S. officials, Van Dyke, while based at a military camp in the North Carolina, had access to classified information unknown to the public because he was involved in planning and executing the operations called Absolute Resolve, aimed in capturing Nicolas Maduro. At the end of December, after opening an account, he wagered $33,000 on the prediction that Maduro would be captured, and after the operation was successfully completed, he gained significant profits. At the time, President Donald Trump was asked about the matter, expressed his frustration by saying that the world has now turned into casino. Venezuela President Nicolas Maduro and his wife, Sila Flores, were taken into custody at the beginning of January and are currently being held in military detention facility in New York. The two individuals are charged with serious drug trafficking crimes, but they have denied the accusation. Officials from the U.S. Department of Justice stated that using military secrets for personal financial gain is a serious national security violation and warned strongly that technology-driven prediction market cannot be used as a cover for illegal activities. The World Cup and Iran. Recently, Iran's participation in the World Cup to be hosted by the United States has become a major topic of discussion. A few days ago, it was reported that some US politicians argued that Italy, which failed to qualify, should replace Iran. Following, the leaders of the Iranian national team responded that this is unthinkable and that they cannot be replaced Iran since they did not qualify. Now, it is being reported that the United States has set clear entry and restriction guidelines for Iran's national team participating in the 2026 World Cup. The foreign minister, Marco Rubio, in his statement said that Washington has no intention of preventing Iranian players from participating in the World Cup. According to Minister Marco Rubio, the main concern of the United States is not the players, but individuals linked to Iran Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps. Our opinion is not about athletes, he said, expressing concern that such individuals could enter the US posing as journalists, coaches, or team members. He strongly emphasized that this should not be allowed. Standing beside the minister, President Donald Trump stated that his administration does not want to put pressure on athletes for political reasons. This statement was made at a time when Iran's participation in the tournament was under question, following a joint attack by the United States and Israel on February 28th. Despite the high tension between the two countries, Iran's government spokesperson, Fatima Mahajereni, confirmed that the country has completed the necessary preparation for the tournament. Iran's Ministry of Youth and Sports has stated that it is providing the necessary support for the team to participate. Iran will face Belgium, Egypt, and New Zealand in 8 group matches in the 2026 World Cup. The tournament will begin on June 11th, and straight visa and security checks are expected for Iranian team members traveling to the United States. Israel's decision and regional risk. Israel's appointment of permanent ambassador for Somaliland, which is declared independence from Somalia, has drawn condemnation from Somalia, the African Union, and other institutions. Somaliland, on its part, rejected the criticisms and opposition. Iran appointed a permanent ambassador to Somaliland recently, months after recognizing Algeria's independence. The first foreign ambassador appointed in Algeria is Michel Lotin, who previously served as Israel's ambassador to Kenya. The appointment has triggered different reactions, and Israel's action has sparked various opinions. The sentiment of Algeria has been different. Israel has confirmed that it is a trustworthy partner. The speech of Somaliland's president, Mohamed Abdullahi, made members of parliament rise from their seats and filled the hall with applause. On the side of Mogadishu, which considered Somaliland as part of its own territory, the condemnation was equally strong. In a statement issued by the country's Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Somalia indicated that Israel's action appointing an ambassador to Somaliland violates Somalia's unity and sovereignty. A statement released from Addis Ababa by the African Union Commission also criticized Israel's action. Based on the founding principles of the African Union and international law, the Commission affirmed its unwavering recognition of Somalia's sovereignty and territorial integrity. The statement said. The statement also included that the African Union does not recognize Somaliland as an independent country. Other institutions also expressed support for Somalia's territorial unity and condemned Israel's action. For more than 30 years, Somaliland has maintained peace, democratic governance, and responsible partnership, and stated that it has contributed positively to the stability in the Horn of Africa. For its part, Somaliland argued in a statement that its relations with its partners do not violate international law. A senior researcher at the Institute for Security Studies, known as ISS, Moses Okilo, said that Israel appointing an ambassador was expected. He added that Somaliland has already appointed an ambassador to Tel Aviv, and Israel's move is a continuation of that. The exchange of the ambassadors between Israel and Somaliland was expected, but the African Union's strong condemnation shows concern. According to him, what worries the African Union is the possibility of a new independent country emerging. Israel's unilateral recognition of Somaliland will move it one step forward toward gaining international recognition. Although it is still early to say how quickly other countries will follow Israel in recognizing it, he said it is certainly just the first step. He added that a few more countries are likely to follow. The African Union, which prefers maintaining borders as they were at independence from colonial rule, is concerned that recognizing Somaliland as a separate country could encourage other independence movements. Somaliland, the northern region of Somalia that was formerly a British colony, declares itself as independent country on May 1991 Gregorian calendar. However, no country or international organization had recognized it until now. In December 2025, Gregorian calendar, the situation changed. Tel Aviv became the first United Nations member state to recognize Algeria as independent country. Recently, it took an additional step by appointing an ambassador. This could create tensions in the Horn of Africa, Okele believed. He told the Dutch Welle that if Somaliland becomes an independent country, there is concern that unresolved and sensitive border issues with neighboring countries could create conflict, especially between Somalia and Somaliland, Somalia and Djibouti, Somalia and Ethiopia, as well as other countries. This could destabilize the Horn of Africa region. Thank you for watching. See you next time in my next update.